Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, Podbean, all that good stuff. You already know how this go. Let's get right into it. I'm actually struggling right now because y'all know what season it is. It's the season where it's like very close to being cold, but it ain't cold yet. And you still shouldn't wear shorts. Let me tell you, I was cool the entire week. All right. We talking about, let's say, Wednesday to Saturday. You know, I worked and did all of that. I was great. No problems. Sunday came. I put on some shorts. I go outside. Sunday night hits. Now, and what's so crazy, I went to my dad's on Sunday, watched a little football. You know, shout out to the Browns. They caught an L that Monday night. No, they played that night. Caught a little L, but it is what it is. My Cincinnati Bengals lost. It is what it is. But anyway, I get to my dad's house. Everything is cool. It's like, do you know when mosquitoes actually bite you? Does anybody know? I remember one time on my hand, I was driving and I seen one fly in the car, and it was actually sitting on my hand, and I didn't notice until the last second. But I felt like a little pinch or something, and that's when I knew this thing just bit me. And like, what do you know? A couple hours later, I started to get a little, a mosquito bite. Great, cool. I was one fortunate kid who never had to go through like being stung by a bee in the eye or, stuff like that people went through. I don't even remember if I've ever been stung by a bee. I believe I have though. But these damn mosquitoes, man. I mean, my whole leg. Like, they tore me apart. Like, they had so much fun with me. And I was upset because I'm like, you don't know when it happens. That other than that one time in my whole life, again, I've never seen the mosquito in action. But that one day, that was it. I'm always getting bit up and never know. But you always find yourself like, hitting your legs and arms. And what do you know? It's mosquitoes. This is what they do. This is their season, because they know people like me don't think it's cool to wear shorts and be out and have fun. Anyway, Dear Love Podcast, episode 79. What we're going to talk about today is what's been the hottest topic on the internet, of course. No, not Tekashi 6ix9ine, but actually what he's been doing, and that's snitching. Now, you hear a lot of people say that the memes are really getting out of hand because some people not from that world, and you don't really want to play like that. And, hey, look, this person is this person is that. And, real people are actually doing time or dying, or families are being broken up behind people who snitch. Now that's on a grand scale, obviously, but we've always said don't snitch, whether it was school or, we said it about little stuff, and that's what kills me. You in school and the teacher says nobody needs to chew gum, and then they find a gum wrapper on the floor and they say, hey, whose gum wrapper is this? And everybody's looking around like, oh, hey man, don't snitch. It's like, nigga, it's a gum wrapper. Like, it's a gum wrapper, okay? Jonathan is over there chewing gum. You see him moving his mouth, teacher? And you got the excellent accelerated snitches that kind of just like learn how to point with their eyes and send you signals. It's almost like they know mind control to let you know what's going on. Hey, he's eating the gum over there. People were serious about that. So you already know how they feel about, government type stuff or gangs and things like that. But you can look at snitching a lot of ways. Now, granted, it's not tolerated. We know that. And if you ain't about that, you shouldn't even talk about it nor do it. We understand all of that. But when you really break it down, you can't help how some people raised. And to me, it's your fault if you don't really notice. Now, I know you got informants and stuff like that, but we talk about on the everyday scale. Some people you can tell just not about that life. If you know you into fighting and guns and all of that type of stuff, then you got to get around people that's into that. You know what I'm saying? Stop being around the folks who don't really care for that. Cause then you fall into this predicament. Oh man, you snitched, man. I swear you snitched. It's like, yeah, you should have known I was gonna snitch, man. Like I live with both of my parents. I gotta be in the house by 8 o'clock. What did you think I was gonna do? Another thing that always comes up with that is, how was the person that snitched? Like, if it went another way, okay. If you are going to snitch, what's some things that got to be guaranteed? Because, some people just want their families better off and they don't really care about their life and things like that. Again, I'm against the snitch rule, but my thing is people got to be realistic. Now, I know with some people who really bought that life out here, it's like no tolerance for that. Ain't no snitching, none of that. But let's say you are in that position. How do you know? How do you know what you want to do? Granted, you know you don't want to snitch, but let's say other things come with that. Like, hey, if you do tell on these folks, and again, especially if you don't care about your life, we got this information. We can take care of your family. We can make sure your kid is well off, things like that. Now, the ultimate thing I would say is, again, if you're not into that lifestyle, into the streets or anything like that, then you should just stay away. You should stay away completely. But if you are doing these things, think about that. Honestly, like, what if they told you, we can take care of your whole family. We'll do this, we'll do that, but you just got to give up a couple names. Why do you think people do it? That's why they come up with that term, everybody has a price. Yeah, we around here talking about what we ain't gonna do and all of that. But you don't know what would happen if they got your daughter or your son or anything, and you just got to look at both sides of the spectrum. Like I said, I know how I feel, and I don't think snitching is ever allowed, nor would I do it. But at the same time, don't put yourself in no position where you would even have to snitch or talk bad about. I mean, just do what you're supposed to do, and you won't have to worry about stuff like that. Because like I said, I can imagine someone who's trying to get their life right and something happens and now they in trouble. And now it's like, hey, okay, if I go down, I just want to make sure my people's is good. Remember, we talked about legacy. We talked about what you leave behind. You don't want to be no snitch, but if it's going to make the next generation cool, go ahead and take your L for your generation. No, but snitching is, it's always going to be a bad thing. It shouldn't be tolerated. But I'm just saying, we all tough until we got to be tough. That's all I'm saying. Everybody talk a real good game. We done seen the hardest guys fold, the hardest women fold. So, I mean, you can't just go out on a limb and just say, well, you know for sure what's going to happen. Because, again, if family is everything, like people say, that means you're willing to put your family above you, which would mean you wouldn't mind giving up X, Y, and Z to make sure they were good. That's all I'm saying. That don't mean I agree with it, people. I don't want anybody to say, oh, man, he low-key saying he cool with it. No, it's not cool at all, but we just got to be realistic. I mean, we know it happens. We know people do it. So, I mean, what else ain't cool? Messing with, what they say, messing with people's exes. Oh, we got the rule, don't mess with the ex. Yeah, all of that. But guess what? People still do it. So again, it's just until you in that position and things like that, you can't really speak on. You can say what you think could happen. But again, you gotta look at it. I mean, it's all type of ways you can look at it, because some people just know for sure, hey, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I ain't doing it, whether my son on the line, my mom on the line, I don't care. You got some people cut like that. They just, hey, they don't care. It's going down. So, I don't know. I mean, it's really just depending on how you look at snitching. You love it, you don't love it, same thing. But I'll tell you one thing. They tearing Tekashi up, boy. I mean, these memes are ridiculous. All this from snitching. I mean, I've never seen, this has to be the first person in history that went from like that high on a scale to just looking like scum of the earth in some of these rappers' eyes. I mean, some of these guys really despise him now. Like, they don't want to see him, but the world's so messed up. like most of the people are saying, he could probably come out and still make a song, and y'all will listen to him because y'all just want to know what he's saying or know what he doing. So, again, snitching, you love it, you hate it, you don't really mind it. I mean, it's your call. But at the end of the day, you know what you got to do, and you know how far you willing to go. So just keep that in mind. Everybody act tough, but they ain't tough. Dear love, T. Shaw, I'm out of here.